All right, let's go ahead and talk about our Fourlane dashboard here. This will continue to be built out, and you may not see all tabs because, of course, I'm in a demo beta environment, so you might not see all of these kinds of things. Want to explain the purpose of having these things in here. So first of all, we do have the demo ID. We have the instance, or I'm sorry, the demo name. We do have the instance in here as well, whether or not the instance is active, and then some last information. So this is just meant to be some overall information, and this will continue to pull in information around your account. Now we have the transaction info tab. This is something also that I like to point out. So right now it says all transactions, that there are 207. All transaction lines are 740. It gives you two lines as well where it says not in QuickBooks. So there are two transactions that are not in QuickBooks, and then any kind of transaction errors they're giving that can be given to you. So if I go to my errors list over here, you'll also be able to see I have one error, right? One of the things to point out is that all transaction lines, this 740 here, if I go into QuickBooks and I hit my F2 key, we do have this total transactions in here, so 288, and then total targets, which is like our lines, right? Now, the difference between what you see totaled up in Fourlane CX and what you see totaled up in QuickBooks is due to the transaction types that we do not sync, right? So there's a differential of 18 transactions because we do not sync over, currently at least, journal entries as an example. That is in the product roadmap to be able to do journal entries over there. When we are reading for reports, like running financial reports, we do read the GL detail, so we see the net effect of the journal entry, but because the transaction itself of journal entry is not sitting in here, right? We don't have journal entries under company yet. That is why there is a slight differential. And that's the same for transaction lines. Do we read the GL effect of payroll? Yes, we do on our reports. But do we create a payroll transaction inside of CX? No. Okay. So when we run our reports, that's good to know as well. The reports are run not necessarily based off of transaction data inside of CX. The reports are run based off of GL details being pulled in from the QuickBooks product. And there's, of course, reasons behind doing it that way. And one of the main reasons is because we're not pulling across all transaction types, at least not yet. Okay. Then as you go down, we have different transaction types that you can see. Now, the purpose of giving this information over to the consultant is so that they can utilize this data. So number one, you can sit and explain to them, why is there a differential in transaction count? That allows you to have the conversation with them around reports. Also, I like to point out to people, these are the transactions that are not in QB. That means that I have most likely either there's an error on a transaction, which of course in my demo file I leave so you can see that error, but also the other thing is we're pointing out maybe you have not initiated the sync in a couple of days or something like that, because we do have a lot of customers who are using CX for the day-to-day, and then they're going in and logging the connector into QuickBooks like once a week or once every couple of weeks in order to do those kind of accounting functions. So I did have a question, and they said, well, how do I know if, Irene in accounting is syncing all the data across, or how do I know if she has not accessed the data? Well, you'll be able to see here, basically CX is holding on to these two transactions until QuickBooks opens and they can sync it across. Now, of course, I do have QuickBooks open right now, but I do not have my sync client open because I'm trying to show how things can work in here without the sync taking over and doing it really quickly. Okay, so then coming down, we do have these the concept of all of the different transaction types that we are syncing across. So again, as you can see on here, I do not see a journal entry, right? That's not one of the transaction types that you see in here, but you can see the ones that we do move across as of right now. And So when we are reading these types of transactions, we look at, okay, how many total transactions are there in the file? How many are manually closed, which of course an inventory adjustment can't actually be manually closed, but we total that up in case there is something that in the QuickBooks file behind the scenes that you can't see, right? Because they do have things that you can't see through the general UI. And then how many total transactions are happening when it comes to those inventory adjustments. So of course my sample file here doesn't have build assemblies, etc. We don't have any kind of checks or credit cards, but if I come in and I look down here at credit memos, it shows that I do have 4 credit memos. And it's a total of 4 different transaction lines. So 4 lines on those, they each have 1 line, right? I have 31 estimates, and of those 31 estimates, there's 39 lines. So that means that maybe 1 or 2 of my estimates has a couple of lines on it. But why that is important as a consultant is then you can go in and see, okay, well, estimates, you pretty much estimate for one thing at a time. So we're putting one thing on an estimate. That's an important bit of information to have. Or as an example, invoices here, we have 71 invoices, but we have 476 lines. So if I divide those two together, right, I take 476 divided by 71, that is 50, 60, somewhere in there, right? So 6 lines, 5 or 6 lines per individual transaction. And that's something that you can utilize this data and have those conversations. So is it that you have mostly on average 5, 6 lines per transaction, or is it that you have like one transaction once a month that has a whole bunch of lines on it? It's a way to kind of understand what you're dealing with before having to actually dig in and look at it. Now, invoices, posting transactions, those aren't the ones that we focus on the most. The most time when we're dealing with our large clients in here, we're focused in on the non-posting transactions. So I want to go in and see how many estimates there are, how many have been closed, and then how many total transaction lines are on those estimates compared to how many total overall transactions and targets are sitting in the QuickBooks file. Why is that data important? Because these non-posting transactions weigh down our file. They weigh down our audit log, our audit trail. They weigh down the QuickBooks file itself. And I can come in and say, well, why don't we get rid of some of those estimates? Let's go through and get those estimates deleted. Of course, Fourlane does have the non-posting transaction deletion tool. And with that tool, what's really nice is you can leave those transactions. Of course, they're in the QuickBooks backup that you do before you go in and delete anything. Then they are in the CX file, so you have access to those transactions. But best of all, in the go forward state, they're not sitting in QuickBooks because you don't need them to be in there. Now, when we're teaching customers how to use CX, we do not, we teach them, go ahead, put in the estimate, put in the sales order, put in the invoice, and then periodically, like once a quarter, we have a plan, or once a year, depending on how many transactions they have flowing through, we have a plan to go through and eliminate those unneeded non-posting transactions to keep the file moving along quickly, okay? But we leave those transactions inside of CX so you still have the history. All right, so that's how we utilize this information down below. So usually we're looking mostly at estimate, sales orders, purchase orders in here. Then we have the entity information. So similarly, we want to come in here and see like what is going on. So how many total lists, right, do you have? How many are not in QuickBooks? How many have errors? And that's errors in the sync client, right? That's where the errors will sit. It can't sync across for some reason. And we do give error codes in here that you can help kind of troubleshoot, similar to the QB win log. But knowing, okay, again, where is the weight in my file? So how many total customers do I have and how many are active versus inactive? If I come into a client and they have 15,000 customers, right? But then I look at the transaction information and they only have, 1,000 invoices, then I'm going to be saying, why do we have so many customers that don't even have transactions tied to them? Can we go eliminate those customers? Because any data, people do things we never understand or we never know what they were thinking when they were doing it, but they'll go in there and they'll upload a list that they bought from, some list service that they were going to go call on, and here, bam, they're in here in our customer list even though we've never sold anything to them. Or they do a conversion from another product and they've got all these old customers in there that they just don't know how to get rid of. So this is a great time to have the conversation with the customer. Let's go in and get rid of those unneeded customers. And you can do things in product, right? You can do some of the in-product condensed to get rid of customers or vendors, et cetera, that have never been used before. But at least this gives you the information. Now again, if we look here, we look at how many total customers do we have? 93. When I'm in the F2 screen, you can see I have 93 customers. So those should always tie out, right? And that's customers and jobs, because jobs are included as customers. But what it doesn't show here, which can be quite hard to see or figure out when we're doing investigations into files, is how many of those are inactive. And so we show that here. Same with vendors, right? We have 60 vendors, no vendors are inactive. If this is a company that's brand new, that might be normal. But if this is a 20-year-old company, you'd be saying, why do you not have any vendors that are inactive? We should be having that. Items in here, it's very similar to the entity information where we're trying to count up the different items. So they have 4 assembly items, no inactive. If I come down here into my inventory items, I have 51, no inactive. I have 1 group item. So you can utilize it in a similar fashion where you're trying to figure out. So inside of QuickBooks, it doesn't give you that total. It tells you how many total items do you have as a whole. It doesn't tell you necessarily the breakout of what item types do they have. Because sometimes, I mean, it's sales tax items. And you're like, oh, whatever, I'm not going to talk about that. But so it's good to have this information, and that's how we encourage people to utilize this. We will be also continuing to build this out. Just, Fourlane has whole processes that we have built over the years and how to investigate client files to help them be smarter QuickBooks users, and we will continue to add those things in product and keep you guys aware of that. All right, so that, again, how you get to the Fourlane dashboard up here under reports and how to utilize that dashboard.